my friend. This is Mike Michalowicz, the author of Profit First, Get Different, and other business books. And you are watching The Real Entrepreneur. That's R-E-E-L, as in real, like movie or TV show, because I'm giving you my reactions to different TV shows and movies about entrepreneurship and giving you insights that you can take away and apply right away. So not only will you be learning, you will be earning. Now, hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button to make sure you don't miss a single episode. And let's watch this episode of Undercover Boss. We're going to Fremont Street, old Las Vegas. I went there the past few years. I actually did the zip line there, and I went to a restaurant that Rack Pack used to frequent, and it was delicious. The steaks and the old fashions. All right, let's watch the episode right now.
My name is Andrew Simon, President and CEO of the Fremont Street Experience. The Fremont Street Experience is an entertainment destination in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Right away, instant credibility. I'm pausing it, and I saw that White Castle pop up. You know, that White Castle pops up, and instantly there's credibility because of the brand association. Do you know businesses like malls, strip malls, and so forth have an anchor tenant, and other tenants will then present themselves? It's rare that a small micro business moves in and that mall is going to explode. But if a food, like a supermarket moves in, or an established name like White Castle or McDonald's moves in, other tenants will want to surround themselves because they're a known quantity. There's predictability. So the fact that one of those first shots of Fremont Street is of White Castle is no surprise. As a known, recognized brand. If you've ever eaten there, your stomach knows it all too well. You had the 12 hamburger pack, didn't you? Didn't you? All right, let's watch. Woo, I see a lot of people on the street.
It's the second busiest public street in the United States, second only to Times Square.
So I'm pausing it now. And what's so interesting is he says the second busiest street next to Times Square. That's powerful. Where there are people congregating, there's opportunities presenting. They talk about location for a business. If you go to an area where there aren't people congregating, you have to draw them in. That's very difficult. What's people's natural flow? And maybe having a business on Fremont Street, that's surprising to me. They have more traffic than Times Square. Go figure. I'm sorry, not more traffic, as much traffic or almost as much traffic as Times Square.
It attracts 25 million people a year from all over the globe and earns revenues of approximately $50 million a year.
That's surprising. I'm just pausing here. He talks about earning $50 million of revenue per year. That's surprising for a space that is that sizable and has that much traffic. Now, he may not be showing the revenue of the individual stores. It may just be the entertainment stuff going on there. So I'm curious what that revenue is associated with. I just invite you, whenever you're talking with someone and you throw a number out there, give it immediate context, because otherwise the customer's going to go and try to figure it out on their own. If I say, oh, I got something, it's $1,000, is that worth it? Well, with no context, $1,000 could sound like a lot of money or could sound like a great deal. It's clueless. But if I say it's $1,000 for this new house, that's a deal of a century. If I say it's $1,000 for a gumball, that's ridiculous. So the question is, give me context when you throw out numbers.
I joined the company in September of 2020 in the middle of the pandemic.
Joined during a pandemic.
There was no entertainment going on. I was frankly a little bit scared, but I was really excited about the opportunity to make the street better than it's ever been. That said, currently the labor shortage here is tough.
So I'm going to pause it here. He's talking about the labor shortage, and that is something really of significance. There's actually two things I want to talk about. One is he joined in 2020. He is starting with a fresh slate. When you take on a new endeavor, there's a saying, don't be the guy after the guy, meaning if someone had success and now you're taking over, you're going to be held to their standards. When you start during a down period, it's a fresh slate, which I suspect would help him or anyone in a leadership position to reinvent the business much more aggressively because we're at a fresh start. The other thing that's interesting, he's talked about the labor shortage. That is everywhere. And navigating it takes some really special, different acumen. What worked before isn't working now. And I think the definition of insanity is doing the same thing you did in the past, expecting new results. What I want to see you do is if you're struggling hiring labor, look at new ways of approaching it, new types of people that can be reframed or retrained to work within your environment. And that may be the better approach.
The day I started working here, we had 100% staff turnover. What I mean is, no matter how many new people we hire, the same number quit.
100% staff
The majority
turnover.
of our revenue comes from our zip line, but we currently take the lower line out of service for 6 days a week, costing us $500,000 a month, all because we have this labor shortage.
So he's talking about the zip line. So that zip line that you're watching right now, I did that ride. And I did it with my cousin and his wife. She was the one who said we have to do this, and she was terrified. She was trying to challenge herself. When we got to the bottom of this thing, she was covered with tears and mascara. And me and my cousin Paul were laughing the whole way down. It's a really interesting ride. The insight here is if you can't operate an asset like this, a revenue-generating asset, you're in real trouble. Losing $500,000 because they don't have enough people to activate it. The cost, it would be, now this is linear, so don't quote me on this, but if you hire someone for, say, $499,000 a year, and you pay them that salary, and it generates $500,000, that'll net you $1,000. I'm not saying it's profitable. I'm just going to this extreme, saying sometimes you have to boost the revenue of your employees, the salary of your employees, to offset the cold stop that your business is experiencing. That's one way to address it. Maybe there's others, and you, no matter what, have to be sustainably profitable. That may be a short-term fix, but it's possibly a fix.
I need to figure out why people are leaving, and also what can I do to attract more people to want to work here.
Yeah, so his question is, how do you attract
Our
people?
employees think they're on a documentary called Starting Over about someone looking for a new career. They have no idea.
I like his
it's
new
Undercover
look.
Boss.
That looks like me.
In my career, I've never faced a problem as big as the one
Here's
I'm
proof that
facing
he
right
looks like
now. I'm down 90 employees, $500,000 of revenue, and declining employee morale. If I don't fix this now, we're in deep trouble.
Yeah, so you know what's interesting is he talks
Today
about,
I'm going
look at,
undercover
me and
with-
him could be the same. He's just getting his car now. But you know what's interesting? What he's sharing is there's decreasing employee morale. Here's the interesting dynamic that happened. As less people are looking to work, the few that are looking to work are taking on more burden. I mean, there's more demand on them. They have to produce more, which is overwhelming them and decreasing morale. It starts this downward spiral. Less people, more demand on the few people. They get overwhelmed. They leave, means you have even fewer people. And there's more demand on them. You have to put a stop to that. One of the ideas, and this is contrary to what I just said, but one of the ideas is you stop doing some of the services so you can give your people a rest, the remaining people a rest, and start looking to build things up again. So that may be something he has to
The
navigate.
custodial department. It's up to this department to keep them all clean, and with 20 to 30,000 people a day coming, it is a big task. I'm working with Emmy, and she's been here for 20 years. I'm hoping to find out that this team is getting what they need to get their job done. They're essential to our success.
So I'm just pausing it right now. He's talking with Emmy, and or he's about to interview Emmy, I guess. She's been doing this for 20 years. There's a great lesson here. Always go to the people that you have right now that are long-term and loyal. And you can do this with clients too. Evaluate the best and see if you can emulate it in the rest. Find out why someone's staying, and you amplify those things. When you have great clients, you do the same analysis. Ask them what's working and try to do more of that. Ask your best employees what's working, try to do more of it. I remember meeting with Mary. She's the founder of Jancoa. It's a janitorial firm. And she told me something that really opened my eyes. She said, Mike, no one dreams one day I'll be a janitor. One day I'll be cleaning up other people's messes. But we all have individual dreams. And that's the key lesson here, is the motivation for some people is not the work itself. And maybe it is, but for many people it may not be the work, but it may be what the work means to them or the opportunity it affords them. We have to get to the human element. If we're going to retain and motivate employees, it's not about do more of your work harder. It's about discovering what their dreams are and then helping them drive that forward.
Hello, I'm looking for Emmy.
Hi, what is your name?
Ken, I understand you're training me today.
I am, and we will be going on the mall, and we're going to focus on gum.
Oh.
Yep.
I'm a bit of a germaphobe, so I'm not that excited to clean up other people's gum. So lots of gum, you
Yeah.
say?
Lots of scraping. Have you ever done this before?
I've never done this before.
It's a tough job, but we're going to have fun.
So she talks about cleaning up gum, and you saw his reaction. I don't know how much of that was kind of staged and faked. He didn't look like totally grossed out. But think about that line of work, and you're doing something to clean up after others. That isn't necessarily rewarding work. I mean, you do see the before and after product, but there's a risk you get frustrated. You see people not caring for the property around them, or even being disparaging toward others, the janitorial crew themselves, or being disparaging toward the environment they're in, or disrespectful of it. So understand there's also an emotional element when it comes to managing yourself and your employees. What motivates you, and how are you going to help them navigate through some of the grossness that's involved with some kinds of work?
This is nasty. This has like still some moisture and chew to it.
Because there are some pieces that are like really tough. Ooh. It's a lot of work. It's 2.5 hours a day.
So you spend 2.5 hours a day getting gum off the mall.
Yes, our whole crew.
The fact that we have to spend so much time cleaning up gum, 2.5 hours per day per person, is outrageous.
Interesting. He's doing the math here. So 2.5 hours a day per person cleaning up gum. And I don't know how many people are cleaning up gum, but say she gets paid $20 an hour, and I'm not saying that's her number. Maybe it's 30, maybe it's 15. I don't know. But let's say it's $20 an hour. That's $50 that is being spent per person in just cleaning up gum. Sometimes policy can fix that. Like, please don't spit out your gum, or put gum in receptacles, or join the clean movement of Las Vegas, and please throw out gum and other stuff in these containers. Sometimes signage and direction can motivate people to follow rules and alleviate your staff having to clean up.
I know I work hard, but I love my job. Actually, I've been doing this for 20 years.
Wow, 20 years here.
20 years here. I don't get any more raises.
Your pay just freezes in time forever. It can never go up.
No, never.
This is interesting too. I'm just taking a little pause here because she revealed something powerful. She's been here for 20 years. She can get no more raises. There's a freeze. Be very careful of that. Money, I would argue, is not the primary motivator for people. As you can see, she loves her work, but money is a show of respect. I believe actually money is the ultimate demotivator, meaning if someone doesn't feel they're being treated well or properly financially, that will demotivate them from working. If you gave her $1 million to continue to work, would she do a better job? Maybe for a short period she'd work with a little more hustle, but people revert back to their normal. But they will compromise their performance when they're being demotivated and not being appreciated.
I was shocked to hear about any employee's pay is frozen at a certain rate. We're in the middle of a staffing crisis, but we may have a policy in place. That's not very motivating and kind of punishes employees for staying a long time. It's outrageous. It's something that is going to be fixed. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, so one thing that is really powerful about this and all the undercover bosses is the insights they glean. And I love that this concluded with a review, awareness that good people are doing more work and not being compensated for that. And that is demotivating, or can be demotivating for sure. That needs to be fixed right away. So I appreciate you fixing that. I also want to invite you, get your own undercover insights. Now, you dressing in a silly costume with a beard and glasses may not work, but you can do secret shopping. Set up a temporary email account and email and make a purchase of your own product or service and see what the experience is like. Ask a friend to do that for you. And have them go through the whole process earnestly, but to give you their sincere feedback on what's going on. That ground level vantage point can be much more effective than always sitting up there in the stands. All right, hope you got some insights from this. I want to remind you that this is the real entrepreneur. These are my insights that I get from these episodes. I want to know what you want to see. So any questions or ideas you have, send them. You can go to mikemichalowicz.com/questions and submit them there. And if you haven't hit the subscribe and notification bell yet, push both those buttons. I'll see you on the next episode. Hope you learned something from these insights and wishing you tremendous success in your business.